looking for you. I'm always looking for you. I brushed it off, pushed it aside, but I couldn't help. I was looking for you. Yeah, I was looking for you. I am a hound surrounded. I am the silence in the road. Just a figure in the dark. As if coming for the storm. If I fall, you catch me. Brush me back up on my face. Feel the strength inside of me.
Helps if I hit the right buttons. Welcome everybody to another wonderful night of racing. We are live with the Vigilante Racing Series here on a Wednesday night in Bristol, Tennessee. Man, racing under the lights here at the last great Coliseum. Man, it really doesn't get better than this. We're in store for 150 laps of racing action here today, and knowing what we know about these guys, it's only gonna get better and better as the night goes on. I'm Alan Brown, and I am joined in the booth by Mr. Alan English. Alan, how you doing tonight?
Great, man. Looking forward to this. Love short track racing myself. I don't just watch for restrictor plate stuff, but yeah, short track racing is fun. They raised up the incident limit tonight. I believe it's at 21x tonight, so giving these guys a little bit more room to bump and bang because it's going to happen. This is a half-mile track. It's fairly narrow. It's not real easy to pass here. There's going to be some bump and runs, some guys slamming fenders. So, yeah, there's not going to be a competition caution thrown tonight by the admins because we're pretty sure we're going to get a little bit of yellow flag action as we have a bunch of cars on a pretty small track.
Yeah, and down there on pit road, who's probably going to see a lot of that action, is Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, it's Bristol at night. You can't beat that. It's super fun track to be a part of racing-wise and observing in the stands, watching. You know, I like to call this the old dump the chump routine, man. This is where you can turn them and burn them. And with this 21X, though, you have to be a little selective on when you start dumping people and starting fights. We don't need no fist fights early. We're saving those for later on, near the end of the race. But 2 faster pairs, 70% fuel. You know, thank D&D Race Graphics, you know, for sponsoring this. And man, I don't know. This thing's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I can assure you that.
That it is, as we have some wonderful night weather here tonight in Tennessee. Nice, tricky, very short high bank track that is Bristol, and our key to the race, and that's going to be don't get your mechanics all mad at you. You got to take care of that car.
Yeah, they're going to be tearing sheet metal off these things with sawzalls later, I'm sure, as we aero is not a huge thing here, but if these guys tear up, you know, they do have 2 fast repairs, but if they use those up and they tear up the front end or something where they have wheel damage where they can't steer, or they have an engine expire, it could put you out of the race here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a short track, and I mean, 28 cars I think we're looking at right now. We're going to see some bumping, and I'm not sure how that incident count is going to work out. Those of y'all watching I guess you get a point system for every time you crash. And how many crashes would 21X be? I'm not quite sure. 3 to 4 maybe?
Well, if you run into another car, it's an automatic 4X, Brown?
Just about.
So, and then if you clip a wall by yourself or go off track or whatever, that's an X. So they can add up pretty quick if you're bouncing off the wall, or, you know, you get in 3 or 4 incidences. You know, you're pushing, you know, 14, 15 points already. So
I love that Louisiana English.
yeah, I just kind of make up the plural if I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's either today's Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever, you know. They do it backwards where you're from. But really, that you're going to have to be very careful because of that as this thing plays out. I mean, I know myself, I'd probably be done in lap 20 here if I raced right now. That's going to be tough. It's going to make it a little tougher for these guys. Keep those that little bumping down.
I've heard racing at this track compared to flying fighter jets in the gymnasium. I mean, these are high-speed, high-horsepower machines, and you're sticking them on this track all crowded together like this, there's going to be incidents.
As we do kind of take a look here at some of these standings, we are just past halfway, in this kind of season that their inaugural season that they have here in the Vigilante Racing League. And right now, Timothy Pope is the leader of that, but man, oh man, is it tight. He's got Trevor Robertson and Jeremiah Burke just right there behind him, waiting to pounce. And this is already calculating the 2 drop weeks from everybody, so man, even people all the way down, 10th, 11th, 12th, like Jess Vaught, Eric Klafka, and Ricky Wittenberg, they all have a chance at this one as well.
Yeah, like you said, we're only halfway through this first season. And, even 4th and 5th place, within 3 points of each other. You got several ties on down the top 20 board there that you see. And, talking to, if y'all listen to the Vigilante report on SoundCloud, the spotlight driver this week was Jeremiah Burke, and he was talking about he specifically talked about the incident limit. And he said that his opinion might not be the most popular opinion, but he said, "Man, bring the incident count down even more and take one of the fast repairs away." He's one of those guys that thinks that the incident limits can force some cleaner racing, and he's not biased about it because he did get eliminated from a race earlier this season due to the incident limit. So, interesting take on it.
As practice starts to finish up here and people start to roll out and get qualifying times in, we're going to wait for Mr. Jeremiah to get out there on track, and we can take a ride around with him so everyone can see kind of like a little bit of an in-car what these guys are facing here at this very tricky concrete track where it's not going to be so much fuel savings, but it's all going to be about saving those tires.
Yeah, this is a cool view, and also that gyro view, if you've ever seen it, it shows you how much bank. I think it's 36 degrees of banking. It's insane amount of banking. I've seen the NASCAR reporters trying to walk up the banking, and it's like walking up a flight of stairs. It's that steep.
Like walking through your local fishing hole if you really want it bad enough. But,
yeah, there's that gyro view. Check that out.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Golly.
But I don't know if I agree with bringing down the incident limit. It's just my opinion. There's a lot of hacks out on the track. We learned that word this week. There could be some hacks out there. Somebody could be not have any talent, could crash you, and it could cause your day to end. So I don't know. It's a delicate balance. You gotta kind of keep it in the middle. I'm not sure where I stand on this incident thing yet.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Jeremiah Burke and his story, as the race goes on here. If you want to listen to that interview, check him out on SoundCloud. Ricky Whitberg's page on there. Him and Josh Bittner put on one heck of a broadcast on that podcast. A lot of great behind-the-scenes information that you would never hear, if you didn't hear it on that podcast. So check him out, Vigilante Report on SoundCloud.
Isn't Ricky Wittenberg, isn't this his home track here? Bristol, Tennessee?
It may be, because that's Eastern Tennessee, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Or Eastern Tennessee is close to Virginia there.
Yeah.
Close to the state line.
Use that Louisiana geography. You got it.
On the right side of the map, and I think it's purple.
Exactly.
I think it's purple on my map.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Little Jeff Foxworthy joke, I think.
As people continue to put in some of their lap times here, and this is definitely one of those where you either want to start up front or you want to start way, way in the back. You do not want to be caught up in the tornado that is that middle of the field area. That's where I got a feeling all the craziness is going to happen. It's not necessarily because, trucks get loose or whatnot, but the truck takes up so much space on a track, and you get so many cars together, that space gets very limited.
It really does, and something I'm noticing too is they touched on it on the podcast about Las Vegas, how between the pole sitter car and 20th place, you had like 2/10 of a second difference. So you think, well, short track like this, you think it'd be that close or even closer, but it's not. As we see Pope with a 1483, and down the list here, we've got a good second or so between, well, not anymore. Between first and 20th, you've got a half a second. So it's a little bit different here. Not everybody's running the same line, I reckon.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a top and a bottom line here, kind of the whole way around. I think you can run high and be fine, but I think you can run low and kind of be fine as well. So it just kind of see how the grooves play out, how the weather, the air of the trucks and everything pushes these trucks around. See what happens.
And I ran a few practice laps here just for research sake, and if you go low and hard into turn 3, it's bumpy down there, and if you got your force feedback turned up quite a bit, like I keep mine, I mean, it is rough. So I think the higher line will probably, once it gets good and rubbered in, I think it's going to be the place to go. Maybe bringing it down to the middle of the track, maybe in the turns, but immediately returning back to the wall on the outside. I have a feeling you may see some guys trying that. It looks like we're getting ready to grid up here already.
That we are, as these guys finished up their qualifying efforts, and we move on to the gridding process, and time to get this show on the road. We got Timothy Pope winning pole position here tonight, with Alex Forget-Berube just a little bit behind him there. He's going to be starting here second. You got the 88 of Eric Klafka, who really hasn't had that great of luck so far this season. He's going to be starting up here in third, so time to see what he can kind of do out there on the track. Same thing with Mike Adamson, coming off of a decent week last week, but looking to definitely improve. He's going to be starting here in fourth. We got Jonathan Osborne in that 81 starting fifth, with Josh Bittner starting sixth. Trevor Robertson in the 6th will be starting 7th, with the 07 of Jack Dixon starting 8th. You got George Rincon starting in 9th, with Tyler Green in that 5, rounding out that top 10.
Ricky Wittenberg in that 55 machine starting 11th. The 7 of Rose Kilgore in 12th. The 63 of Josh Oxendine, he's in 13th. 21 of Justin Hutchinson. Welcome to the league, my man. You're starting in 14th tonight. 29 of Dave Hot Rod Mayberry, starting in 15th. The 753 of Jeremiah Burke, our spotlight driver this week, starting in 16th spot. The 77 of Zachary Self in 17th. Zach Wheeler in that number 20, starting in 18th. The 999 truck of Jeff Snyder, starting in 19th. Rounding out your top 20, Michael Everidge in that 82.
1 Kelly Cool, 21, 37 of Dustin Reilly, 22. The 4 of Dion Jones, 23rd. Number 12, America's driver, Albert Anderson, 24th. 91, Rob Green, 25th. 020, Simon Cobra Sregis, 26th. 17 of Brian Jablonski, 27th. John Herdzik, 28th. And Jeffrey Green, 29th.
So another big field here today, which is what we always like to see, about 29 cars. Looks like we do have a couple people starting in the pits. John Herdzik and Jeff Green will, looks like they're starting down there on the pit road. Nope, actually, excuse me, as John Herdzik starts to roll around here.
Pit road wouldn't be a bad place to be. I think we're going to see pit road quite a bit here tonight.
As the pace truck takes us around one more time and try to get everybody all bunched up and ready to go.
Yeah, we we got a Laughing Clown malt liquor truck tonight, so that's pretty sweet. 07
awesome.
Jack Dixon. Yeah, here we go, boys.
Yeah, pace truck's gonna start coming down here in just a second. Getting ready to take this thing to green flag racing. Alex Forget Berube up there with, looks like Eric Klafka up at the front. Don't know what happened to Pope, but green flag's waving and off and running down into turn number 1 we go. Pretty clean start, and a very clean start there for Eric Klafka, getting a decent amount away from Alex Forget Berube. He's got Jonathan Osborne and Mike Adamson all over that back bumper right now.
They're piling up back here. Looks like everybody stayed rolling. We're going to see a lot of that tonight, I think. Quick little pile-ups and everybody getting back running as fast as they can.
Well, it's crazy. We got Pope, looks like, out front, but our scoring machine's kind of... We got a little problem there.
Okay. Now it's got it all right. We got Timothy Pope leading this thing with Alex Forget Berube right behind him. Eric Klafka there in the 88 in third with Jonathan Osborne right there on his outside as Alex Forget Berube looking to take that inside line to try to get around Timothy Pope.
And social media is already jumping. Russell Endicott, Albert Anderson, Dave Mabry on Facebook, all pulling for their folks. On over on the YouTube side, Ashley Osborne.
Oh, as we got a car going.
That's the Laughing Clown machine, the 07.
Jack Dixon went around but stayed down kind of like on that apron, able to hang on to it. Oh, we got another car in the wall.
That's Ricky. In the 55, he can't get down. There's too many cars coming.
Yeah, I don't know where the cautions are.
Well, it was a single car at that point, and he was able to get off the racing surface. So we're staying racing here.
Staying racing as up here at the front. It's all been kind of single filed out. Looks like Alex Forget Berube not quite able to get away. I'm trying to see what's going on here. As
explanation by the admins, just one car involved in that last one. That's why it did not get thrown. We're on manual cautions here.
Alrighty, so Eric Klafka making a big run. He's actually the leader now. Timothy Pope falling back just a little bit. You got Mike Adamson being able to get around Jonathan Osborne. But yeah, Timothy Pope losing quite a few spots. He's now got Trevor Robertson all over that back bumper. And same thing with Josh Bittner. He had just a little bit of an issue. He was able to hang on to it and continue rolling along here. But he's got some pressure from the 7, which is actually the 2 of Russ Kilgore right there behind him. Maybe looking inside, but no, not yet.
That's a long race to go here, Ed. Into Adam, we got 150 laps to go here.
And I'm already confused. The 7 is the 2, but I thought he was always the 2. I guess he's the 7. I don't know. He's Russ Kilgore, the Rocket Man, Mr. Outer Space. We've seen him be launched into space a couple times.
7 and a 2 almost look the same, so I'm told. There's just like a little tail on it, too. You know.
Oh, okay, I like that. That's a pretty good idea. I don't know where you came up with that, but you got some pretty quick wit there.
Ashley Osborne pulling for Jonathan, as she should be, on the YouTube, saying, let's go, Jonathan, you can win this. Peyton McGowan and Josh Bittner. Grumpy Grant Racing, good to have you guys watching tonight, too. And Nizio Forget pulling for the 19 machine. Appreciate all y'all watching out there.
As Eric Klafka continues to contend with some lap traffic, but also Alex Forget Berube looking to the inside here once again for the lead. Side by side they go through turns 3 and 4, coming all the way, looping back around. Excuse me, that was turns 1 and 2. Now through 3 and 4 and across the line. And man, oh man, those two have been switching positions like crazy. Jonathan Osborne now sliding up into third with Mike Adamson in fourth. Trevor Robertson still having a pretty solid run as Jonathan Osborne looks to the inside of Eric Klafka, side by side across the line, leaving each other plenty of room. But this little bit of fighting that they've got going on right now is just letting Alex Forget-Berube kind of drive away with it. And now Trevor Robertson looking to slide up and try to get around some people as well.
Tire conservation is going to be key here. We're at lap 20. These guys are going to start feeling some fall off here pretty soon. But if they can squeeze a good 40-50 laps out of a set of tires, they're going to be sitting okay.
Ooh, as we had a little bit of contact there between Mike Adamson and Jonathan Osborne. I think just not getting checked up in time. Mike Adamson getting into that back rear bumper of Jonathan Osborne. Everybody able to continue and roll on, but man, oh man, everybody's starting to beat and bump around already as Alex Forget-Berube just continues to drive away from these guys as Eric Klafka has been kind of hemorrhaging spots here. He's now got Jeremiah Burke kind of creeping up on him in like a second kind of pack, but he's now well behind where he was up there at the front.
Oh, Jonathan Osborne used that slab car as a pick car, and it looked like we had we had some issues right there. That was a pretty good maneuver by all those guys up front.
Don't this remind you of your local short track on a Saturday night? That's what it kind of reminds me of, being here under the lights. Just a few more bleachers out there, though.
A little quite a bit more laps as well, but yeah, dude, it actually does. Really good racing. I like the banking here. I think it keeps it tighter, cleaner.
Yeah.
It's very fast, very fun to watch.
As we got a battle going on back here, just outside that top 10. You got the 12 of Albert Anderson. You got the 82 of Mike Everidge. The 01 of Kelly Keel, Simon the Cobra Regis. Same thing with Zach Wheeler and Justin Hutchinson. These guys are all trying to get their way back up there to a top 20 spot, or a top 10 spot. And man, they've been kind of just like the leaders up at the front, just flip-flopping positions constantly.
Yeah, Jonathan Osborne and Trevor Robertson coming into some lap traffic here, so that could make it interesting throughout this thing, because we're going to see some lap cars make a difference in this race.
Delightfully Bad Gaming on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Selenia Banner on YouTube, also pulling for Tyler Green in that number 5 truck to take it home tonight. Appreciate y'all watching. Also, Russell Endicott's back. He's on Facebook. He's pulling for, I believe he's pulling for his man in the 12th. And so is Albert Anderson's daddy. He's on there tonight, 24th to 14th. Keep it rolling, son. So.
Well, that's America's driver, America's dad too, apparently. Good to have him. And hey, this race is for money, man. We don't talk about it enough.
Yeah, that's right.
The winner gets 25, second 15, and third 10, and then there's $5 for somebody who we spin the wheel on here at the end of the race. So, and the fan of the race gets put into a drawing to win $50 gift card into the year. So, lots of cool stuff out here.
And even back here for a top 20 position, we got the 17 and the 07, Brian Jablonski and Jack Dixon having a little bit of a fight here. And man, you can just see them trying to diamond this corner as much as they can, but really it's Alex Forget-Berube who's probably doing the best job of really driving around this track right now. He's got a 2-second lead due to the people behind him trying to fight and battle and make up all the spots that they can, which is kind of let him get away, and also makes it easier for him to try to navigate all this lap traffic.
Yeah, that's a good cushion for him, and we've seen him up front, so that's not really a surprise. A lot of these guys up front, that's kind of our typical up front run. So, hey man, anybody can win this race though.
That's right.
Ooh, getting a little dicey back here. The Laughing Clown car.
The 77 itself went down all the way on the apron there, down by the commitment cone, or the pit exit cone.
Oh, that's we got a. Yep. wreck. We got a couple
Yellow's
cars
up.
around here, and that's going to bring out the yellow flag for the first time here on lap 37.
Yeah, that's that little pack I was just watching. They were getting real racy back there. I don't know exactly what happened, but it's fun short track stuff. Maybe some fights too. I don't know.
Short track racing, that's what it's about.
Oh no, it looked like the
Ooh, two of them
20.
went down.
Yeah, it looked like the 29 of Dave, the Hot Rod Mayberry, just kind of getting looped around there a little bit.
Might have cut up too. I'm not sure.
Let's watch this one again. It does look like he might have. It was a little bit of a mix. Someone came down a little bit. He came up a little bit. That caused some people to have some issues. The 999 of Jeff Schneider got involved there, and also
Ox had nowhere to go. I don't think he could have got any higher up the track.
no.
Well, 07 of Jack Dixon, he's coming into the pits, but he couldn't even get turned around on the track. There's so many cars out
A
here.
lot of cars coming.
He's probably getting a hot dog and going to trade drivers or something. I don't know.
So here we go with
What a
the
movie.
mass exodus of people trying to figure out where exactly is their pit boxes. I think we might be dealing with the split pit road here today.
And thank you, Ashley. Y'all are the reason we do it. Appreciate the compliment. Michael Burke saying, "Be patient, Jeremiah." I wonder if that's Jeremiah Burke's pop. We did hear a story on him today that we may tell if we find out if that is his papa, Michael Burke, watching on YouTube.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it, but it involved fighting, I think.
Yeah.
So if it is, I would love to talk about that because that sounds like my kind of guy right there.
We'll wait and see what he says. Ryan Williford says, if anybody can win, I'm putting my name in the hat. Well, you got to be on the track, Ryan. And do like Hutchinson did. Get yourself on iRacing. Join the league. Come on in here and race with these guys. They'd be glad to have you, I'm sure.
He's not totally false. He could actually win fan of the race.
That's true.
Throw your money in the hat for the end of the year and get $50 gift cards. So you can still win if you're watching.
As we start to kind of try to cycle people around, we got a few people that need to get some laps back or whatever. This is also a tricky track to pit at. I know we really haven't mentioned that much here yet, but even if you just under caution here, if you're kind of towards that back of the field, you really can't afford missing your pit box or anything because you'll go a lap down quicker than you know it.
Yeah, you really got to be precise because that is yeah, that can cost you a lot of spots. You're right.
Well, and I think the computers here on iRacing, great genre, great thing we got iRacing, but it's a computer. It causes issues, and I think we're having some issues where people think they're supposed to be or shouldn't have been or got flagged for something that shouldn't have happened. I don't know, but it is a computer, So y'all be patient.
And they're going to go ahead and extend the caution by one more lap to let everybody get grouped up. And while they're doing that, we want to thank Madison Anderson joining us on Facebook as well, pulling for Albert. Man, Albert's got his whole family out here, and he's got old friends, and everybody needs to get on here and shoot this out to all your family and friends and coworkers so they can get their fan clubs for you on here. So.
Yeah, he's popular, and there's a reason for it. Got a great attitude, great story. We listened to him on the Vigilante report a few weeks ago, and really cool. We got to talk to him too, man. The guy's got a great personality, and great guys like that are all over this league and gals.
Yes, sir.
Really great league, Vigilante Racing, D&D Race Graphics. Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee, I think, Eastern Tennessee, something like that. Those are our sponsors.
As we go back to Green Flag Racing, Trevor Robertson with a great pit stop there. He's going to be on that bottom line. He's going to lead this one off down into turns 1 and 2 and get a great run there to get back around Timothy Pope, who had a pretty good restart. But we got a Tyler Green sideways. Oh, man.
The 28 also involved. Oh, man.
Oh, now we got a little bit of a parking lot going on.
Yeah.
Almost probably needed a caution on that deal. Well, here's the problem, you know.
Oh, no.
iRacing.
still going.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Is that what they call ARCA braking? I think that's what they call it.
Go-kart braking. I don't know what the hell happened there, but
If we just go back and
breed cautions, don't they?
go back and watch here. I know Tyler Green just got around, and you can just see the absolute pileup coming in. And
Yeah, Tyler had got on the apron and got loose, came back up, and looks like he saved it, but then him and the two got together, and it was just a chain reaction after that.
Was it the 2 or the 7?
It was the 5 and the 2 got together.
let me just say, we got to take a ride around here with the 63 of Josh Oxendine,
Let's do it.
because holy smokes does he get around this. I have no idea how he does it, but he does. You can,
It's painted like the 2. It might not be the 2. It might be the 7.
It is.
It's an MGD car.
go back and ride with the correct person. Here we are now with Josh Oxendine, and you can hear him just check up, get a little loose. Oh, missed 1 car, missed 2 cars, missed 3 cars. Oh my goodness.
He's been practicing in the C-Class races or the Carburetor Cup to be able to dodge cars like that. Holy crap. What a job by Ox.
Yeah. It was like bumper cars there, and he got his way around it. You know, that's all that you can say about that.
My God.
But I don't think it killed anybody as far as damage. You just gotta. We do have 2 fast repairs if you need it. Looks like Russ Kilgore in the number 7/2 car's got a bumper in the tail end of his truck that needs something, but there's ways to fix it as long as you don't go over that incident limit.
So on YouTube, we do have confirmation. Michael Burke, that is Jeremiah Burke's pop. And if y'all didn't listen to the Vigilante report this week, Jeremiah did tell a story on his pop where I believe he was running Baja 1000 and got run into by a trophy truck and decided him and the trophy truck driver were going to throw some hands right there at the end of the race at the finish line, and they did, and it ended up, I believe he said it was a really young Robbie Gordon. So
Did you just tell me he threw hands with Robbie Gordon?
Well, I believe that's what he said.
He's probably one of many, but I think Robbie Gordon probably deserved to get hands in that situation.
I tell you what, if you run into somebody with your truck,
Just kind of.
you might have one coming to you. That's almost.
That sounds like a hell of a story, and that's pretty awesome to hear, and I'm glad we got to hear it with the Vigilante report.
So it looks like we'll go back around one more time, trying to let people get back around and all caught up and whatnot, as Alex Forget-Berube and Timothy Pope once again gonna kind of start this one off. Looks like, you know, Russ Kilgore and Trevor Robertson are kind of back running. I don't know what happened to Trevor there on that restart. He looked good, but then he dropped back quite a few spots. So you know what? He might have came down into the pits to just take that little extra set of tires and whatnot, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here. Pace truck turns off down pit road, and if we've seen anything, that inside line gets a really good restart through 1 and 2, as Timothy Pope starts down there, and man, he gets a jump and a half over Alex Forget-Berube. That's also going to allow Jonathan Osborne to kind of sneak up into that and steal away second position from Alex there, as Josh Bittner having a great run here, shaking off some of these cobwebs, having a not so good couple weeks He's now up into 4th.
And Bittner's up there in the points too. I believe he's 4th right now. So within striking distance here of this championship, but like we said, the season's only half over. So Turner, Mike Burke on YouTube says, "Yep, that did happen." I want to know if he won or not.
Oh, it don't matter. Hell,
I want to know who looked better at the end of it.
I bet there was dust flying. I bet it was a great time. Great story, but hey, somebody needs to pop that guy, I think he had a few run-ins in his day, didn't he?
Everybody needs a little adjustment now and then, and Robbie's one of those outspoken guys that sometimes maybe need your butt whooped now and then.
Right, today they wouldn't fight, they just call him a hack. Robbie's a hack.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. They wouldn't
front of him. And,
they wouldn't fist fight or nothing cool.
Yeah.
That's the way men handle things.
Yeah.
Back in the day, so.
Like Mike Burke handled it like a man.
Oh, as it's getting close around here for 6th and 7th and 8th. You got Jeremiah Burke, spotlight driver of today's race, making up some ground. He's now in 8th. Russ Kilgore trying to hang on and kind of stay up there in that top 10, slowly losing positions. You got the 82 of Mike Everidge right there, all battling it out.
Yeah, the 999 of Snyder looks like he had an issue. He dropped back a few spots. He's staying on that low line. Folks are driving around him pretty handily. He may have an issue with that 999 truck. Oh, and he just got tagged in the rear end there.
Yeah, there's a little bumping out there, but it's not causing too many issues at this point. I think we're doing pretty well for a track like this and these trucks.
Absolutely.
Brian Jablonski's up quite a bit, 11th place. He's got no tailgate or nothing, but he's still ripping laps off.
He and Jonathan Osborne are running pretty good, but the person with the fastest lap out there so far, that's Albert Anderson in that 12 truck. Currently sitting 13th right now, but he's run a pretty quick lap out there.
Yeah, he's been up and down, and his fan club's in action. And Madison Anderson said, offer him a big old breakfast, and I bet we'll see him fly to the front.
If that's all it takes, y'all need to put some money in there. You can get a pretty good breakfast there.
Get that man some biscuits and gravy and
a
good spicy breakfast sauce.
What if he likes the taco? I like tacos for breakfast. I don't know about you.
It's a South Texas thing. I love breakfast tacos.
Oh, man, I could eat them right now. Just thinking about them is making me want to get this race gone.
I'm just thinking where he lives. He's from Virginia area, so... Go ahead, Brown. Sorry about that.
As Jonathan Osborne sneaks back around Alex Forget-Berube, so he's now in 2nd place. Alex kind of losing some positions, kind of wishing maybe this thing had stayed green the entire way with what kind of lead he had early on, but Timothy Pope not getting away too much here from Jonathan, and this whole kind of front little group here is all nose to tail, relatively close to each other before we see really any gap. So that's 1st all the way down to 8th, and then we start seeing a little bit of a gap up here.
Isaac Wilson on YouTube saying, hey guys, good to see you here, Isaac. Looking forward to your race tomorrow night as Midwest Days of Thunder League has an ARCA Series race tomorrow. So make sure and check him out. He's Fallen God 343 on Twitch if you guys want to watch an ARCA race tomorrow night.
As George Rincon moves around, Russ Kilgore there gets up into a top 10 9th place right now. And don't look now, you also got Eric Klafka trying to make a charge back up through this field. I don't know if he ended up tagging the wall early on, but he had lost quite a few positions from where he started here, trying to make up for it now, as he's also got the 5 of Tyler Green kind of pushing him around here.
Blackwood's got 3 top 10s on the season. He'd like to improve on that, I'm sure. And he does have 1 top 5.
Jonathan Osborne had just a little bit of issue getting around some of this lap traffic. And it's causing him some slowdowns here. And that's going to play an issue.
Get behind him.
Yeah, I think that was caused by Jonathan having some issues. But, hey, it's lap traffic. It's short track. Stuff happens. Yeah, man.
84 Bittner and 63 Ox. I had to slam on the brakes coming up there.
Well, that's good driving. You got to spatial awareness is key here.
Absolutely.
You have to really watch way ahead of what's going on because you can't get tunnel vision or you'll be in the wall or in somebody's tailgate in no time.
That's a great breakdown of what you really need to be watching for.
As Alex Forget-Berube looks to the inside of Jonathan Osborne, trying to get that second place back away from him as Timothy Pope kind of starts to drive off into the distance, having that little bit of a luxury to get around that lap traffic with really nobody behind him.
77's around. Self yells out. Self wrecked. He just got T-boned. There's still a couple of cars spinning here. It's like going into turn 3. Didn't see what led up to that.
Well, things happen so fast here. I'm
really
clicking
do.
through every driver. I'm trying to.
Looked like the 77 had a little bit of help here. We'll rewind it once again to take a look-see. So we're coming
Call your leaders a pit.
through 3 and 4. Oh, just might have snagged that front bumper of the 12. He was kind of trying to move his way up through the kind of middle of the track, and that sent
Yeah.
Zachary Self right on around.
And that green and black looking truck, like he kind of caught the worst stuff there as he T-boned the 77. Let's see who that was.
Well, that's just a racing incident. There's no fights on something like that.
Nah,
Was that Ricky? Ricky Whitmer got involved in that.
it was
Yeah.
Ricky. He's
Yeah,
the
it
one
was
that T-boned him. Yeah, good eye.
Ricky's got a different paint scheme, I think, this week. It's kind of hard to recognize him out there, but hey, sometimes it happens.
So we let everybody all tail back around to get this thing back up and running. We'd like to thank once again D&D Racing Graphics, Keller Williams, Eastern Tennessee. Man, it's all Mr. Ricky Wittenberg right there. Huge supporter and runner in this league. Just things like this, especially the payouts, wouldn't be able to happen without him. And always got to give a big old shout out to those guys.
And so many people work to put these races on every week, from Jess and Lori doing all the work they do, Josh Bittner helping out Ricky with the podcast. It really is a team effort, and we talked about last week a lot about how they have the formula right here in this league, and it's really a blast to watch these guys run.
Yeah, they do. They have real good formula. I think this is their first season. I think we've talked about that before. But for a first season league, it's so smooth that it seems like they've been around forever. But for those of you who don't, I just heard a "Let's Go Brandon" from the crowd. Wow, I think Brandon is really popular these days.
Sounds like
I lost my train of thought hearing that from the crowd. But it's not easy to put this stuff together, like you were saying. I mean, it make it look smooth. It looks like this league's been around. I mean, this looks damn near professional. Let's put this thing on Fox. Let's get rolling.
Grumpy Grant Racing saying, "Did I hear fight?" Yeah, we talked a little bit about some history.
Yeah. Don't do that to me. I start getting twitches when I hear fights. I start getting crazy. Here we go.
Pace truck coming down, so Timothy Pope and Alex Forget-Berube leading this one off here once again, down and across the line. Man, that inside line gets a heck of a jump as the field kind of gets checked up behind these guys. So Timothy Pope easily shoots up in front of Alex Forget-Berube, but here he comes looking around the outside. Alex not letting this one go.
Man, he's on rails.
And right around, as we have a kind of, I think we
Caution's
have
out.
Caution's out as we have a issue kind of going on behind them. Ooh, boy.
Still some issues. They were checking up. Oxendine got in the back of Robertson. Whoa.
Man, oh man, this one goes back for a couple laps. Let's kind of see what happens here. So the 12 gets into the 14. Looked like the 14 was already kind of getting loose, and the 14 just right in the middle of the track, right in front of, I think that was Tyler Green and a whole bunch of people there. Same thing with the 91 at Rob Green. And then at that point, it was just a whole field coming around and everybody trying to get checked up, just not happening. And that's what happens at these short tracks. You know, it doesn't take much. And once when these leaders still going full speed, coming right around, man, it can get messy real quick.
Albert wasn't trying to smash nobody out of the way. It just, hey, that's what happens sometimes. You know, you come up on a car that's a lot slower, and sometimes you don't have time to get out of the way of them or time to get in the brakes.
Yeah, and your reaction time is huge in a short track like this. I mean, let's be honest, there may be guys that have a couple cold beers and enjoy the race. I don't know. Could slow your reaction time down a little bit. I'm not sure. It's still illegal, though, because it's a simulation, not a game, and it's not real life.
Yeah.
So you're not on the road doing anything stupid. It's just a good time. And short track racing.
Yeah, Michael Burke pulling for Jeremiah, telling him, hey man, just stay consistent, smooth. You know, you talked about that a lot, Adam, about, you know, smooth and consistent. Stay as smooth as fast, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it means a lot, especially when you're doing a road course, but slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and that usually it's kind of just a consistent deal.
Yeah, and look, with these cautions that are happening right now, it's really difficult for these guys to get in their rhythm, because this is one of those tracks, it's all about rhythm here. So you can tell by the sound of the engine and how long that thing's been revved up when you're supposed to get out of it, and it just, I don't want to say muscle memory, but it develops over time. The more green flag laps you get, the more you get into that rhythm, and you know, the better you race, frankly. And it's kind of hard to do when you get a caution after just a few laps of out there running.
I mean, rhythm is key. I mean, as the real Mrs. Poindexter, you got to have a good rhythm, you know, keep the thing really smooth, and when you keep getting all these cautions, it just kind of throws you for a loop, and you could be with some frustrations going on too out there.
Dale Goodman, appreciate you watching on YouTube. He's pulling for Jonathan also, as it looks like he's going to be restarting on the low line on the second row, as they've added another caution lap to get everybody stacked up here.
As Josh Bittner works his way up into 4th, Mike Everidge 5th, Eric Klafka 6th. So good to see Eric back up there in that top 10. Mike Adamson, George Rincon 7th and 8th. Brian Jablonski having a great run, up 18 spots right now, sitting right around 9th.
Oh, wow.
With Russ Kilgore back there 10th, and Albert Anderson kind of like the 11th area. So still have a whole bunch of drivers that between a mix of really haven't had good runs and definitely looking to better their luck, and some people who have good runs and just looking to maybe improve just a little bit, all sitting around up there.
And Dion Jones is one of those trucks we hadn't talked a whole lot about tonight in that 4 machine. Dion's up 9 spots, sitting in 14th. Got a few cars behind him on the lead lap, but I mean, there's a lot of racing to go here.
That there is, as the pace truck comes down pit road once again. Alex Forget-Berube going to lead this one off from the inside, but doesn't get that great of a restart there. Timothy Pope all over it, but still able to hang on to that back bumper. in back quarter was Alex, so he's going to be able to try to sneak back around. He's kind of stuck there on that low line, though, and we've seen the preferred line kind of be up a little bit higher, trying to sneak up in front of Pope. Door is not open there.
He's clear now. Let's see if he moves up. We might get a crossover. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though.
No, and Alex Forget does finally get clear of Timothy Pope. Boy, that was a heck of a battle. Something we're going to have to watch out for later on, as everyone's kind of behind them, starting to single file around. Really not too much to say. Jonathan Osborne did lose a couple of spots there, sliding down to 5th, but still running pretty good. Eric Klafka had a pretty good restart there, jumped up into 4th, so he was able to get around some people pretty easily. You got Josh Oxendine right now having a little battle with the 17 of Brian Jablonski up here for 12th.
As the 19 continues to put more and more truck links on the car behind, or the truck behind him, keep in mind he won last week in that 19 machine, and our buddy up in Canada, he's looking to maybe repeat. But we got, what, 54 laps to go at the line?
Yeah. Speaking of Canada, I think we're missing a driver this week. 027 Angelica Timmerman.
Yep, she's on shift.
Working, saving lives. Hey, we appreciate what you do. And, hope you get back here next week.
As the 6 and the 7 went side by side there for a second, trying to get into that top 10 is the 6 of Trevor Robertson, who at one point was leading this thing, but that Gorilla Glue goes up, taps the wall a little bit, and you can see he's been run into a time or two. His back bumper is all dented up.
Well, that's the beauty of this thing. You don't have to pay for sheet metal.
That's right.
You know? I think that's why a lot of these people do this. You know, you kind of get the real feel of racing because it's a simulation, but you don't have to pay the price of the parts because they are expensive.
Yeah, Russell on Facebook saying, looks like everybody kind of figured out what that Highline's all about and why it's better. As we see the 19 out there putting on a clinic using that outside line. So is Pope.
That's the 12 of Albert Anderson. Avoids snagging that outside wall, but man, he got loose for a good second. He's got Zach Wheeler on the inside of him right now, and pretty shortly he's also going to have the 17 of Brian Jablonski coming around as, man, I don't know if it's me or what. Oh, as Brian Jablonski almost breaks it loose there, is Jack Dixon having a little bit of a problem. And
Mark Sideways stopped on the apron in turn 4, coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, it's the Laughing Clown 07 at Jack Dixon. Go get some hot dogs. Trade out your drivers. Get you old Ricky Bobby in there. He can do it.
I want to go fast. Yeah.
Exactly. Rough night.
And we got Jonathan Osborne still trying to fight and make up some of the ground that he has lost. He's got Eric Klafka and Josh Bittner all up there in his front window trying to get back around as he tries to also manage some of this lap traffic, like the 999 of Jeff Snyder right now. Not having the best of nights Jeff is, but you know, that's sometimes that's just how it rolls at some of these short tracks.
Man, I wish I could be at one of these races. That's like on the bucket list because the sound of Thunder Valley or whatever the hell they call it. It's Thunder something. The Thunderdome, kind of like Mad Max. I don't know. But the cars sound amazing just running across this thing.
Oh, is Timothy Pope running into some lap traffic right now, too? That's going to check him up quite a bit. That was the 14 of John Herdzik kind of getting in the way a little bit there. And that also let Josh Bittner close up the gap a little bit, and both of them get around without too much more of an issue. And Eric Klafka, while battling Jonathan Osborne, was somehow able to get around that lap traffic and stay ahead. And Mike Adamson's still sitting there ready to pounce on any little bit of a mistake to take some stuff as yellow flag comes out.
Record 3 and 4 were being told on the radio by Tyler Green.
Yeah.
Good call. Good job calling it out. That really is important. When you see something, say something. And Green was all over it. He said, wreck 3 and 4, wreck 3 and 4, just to get people slowing down to kind of maybe mitigate some of the shenanigans we saw earlier with, guys under caution still coming around the track at speed,
Looked like the 01 just got up into the 21. He was kind of wrecking loose a little bit, and the 15 absolutely plowing into the 21. Justin Hutchinson making his league debut here tonight. Joined the league literally about 5 minutes ago, or 5 minutes before race time, and able to sneak in. So, welcome, Justin, and hope you enjoy your stay. Unfortunately, tonight so far, you're having the luck of the short tracks, as that truck looks really beat up.
Albert Anderson on Facebook saying there's a lot of bumping and grinding going on out there.
Yeah.
You should try the chicken sandwich. It's fantastic. That was the line from the movie, from the driver. Thank you, Albert, or Russell Endicott. Thank you for that. That's what it was.
He's going to get the Jack Dixon was going down there to get some food. Going to be replaced by Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, Jack Dixon on YouTube right now just got wrecked 3 times from the same driver. So.
Oh, I see. I feel something brewing. I'm going to have to do some research and figure out who that driver was, because I know Jack Dixon's not going to forget.
Yeah, he ain't too happy right now, I don't imagine. That's what happens at short track, so not everybody's happy.
Yeah, some of these guys,
all the way through.
and we've been involved in stuff like this.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like there's another truck out there that's like a magnet to yours. And
Yes, sir.
not that they even mean it, but you're just riding along with them. And that gives some tempers flared and sometimes hatred. I don't know if there's hatred in this league, but I've seen some hatred in iRacing. I like that.
I know you do. Woo, Yahtzee.
Yeah, Yahtzee's a great game.
As we loop all the way back around here under caution, gonna get ready to start going green here relatively soon. Man, we're 42 minutes time-wise into this race, and we're coming up on 30 laps to go. So even though we've had quite a few cautions, man, this one's going by pretty quick, Adam, and it has not been short on action whatsoever.
No, dude. No, I think we expected it. We all have a pre-race meeting. I mean, we're professionals. We put in the man hours, but we thought that we'd see some cautions, and that's about what we think we predicted so far. But I'm interested to see in how racy they get here at the end. That's where it could get, the green-white checker situation and all that. So, hey, they put on a show so far. Let's keep it going.
As Alex Forget-Berube coming down into the pits, maybe not having the best of pit stops, as he lost a few positions, so that's going to leave Timothy Pope and Josh Bittner up here at the front with Mike Adamson and Eric Klafka right behind them. Green flags waving down through turns 1 and 2 we go once again here today, as Josh Bittner quickly making use of trying to get all the way out to that outside wall to hang on to that outside lane, and he will hang on to second, as Eric Klafka not as easily able to get up to that outside. He's going to get passed by Mike Adamson, as I think we had some cars spinning out behind this kind of lead group here. Josh Oxendine having a decent run here kind of later on now. Currently sitting in 9th. He's trying to get around George Rincon in that 28 truck with the 19 of Alex Forget-Berube coming up with a full head of steam, trying to make up all the ground that he lost.
But don't forget to mention it. Mike Everidge is having a pretty good race too. So number 82 car had some really good racing. That you can kind of feel it building as we're getting closer to the end.
Jonathan Osborne is side by side with Trevor Robertson right now, as Jeff Snyder looks like he has had a little bit of another issue going on, and Oh man, still side by side. It's now Jonathan Osborne in that 82 of Everidge. Osborne able to kind of get around as some lap traffic starts to sneak up into play here. And Alex Forget-Berube still trying to get around some of these guys to get back up there towards the front.
Yeah, a little bit beating and banging too between the it's like a 51 machine of Mike Adamson. 84 Bittner's right behind them. These guys stay pretty tight here tonight.
Yeah,
There are a lot of banging.
We have a caution here.
Reckon 1 and 2 says Tyler Green. Once again, announcing on the radio what he sees.
Yeah, we need the extra set of eyes, us, because we only have a few pair. I don't know how you could watch this race with one pair of eyes. There's so much going on.
I searched with my little old eyes, but I don't see everything.
Looked like, it was Alex Forget-Berube.
Oh my goodness.
Getting a little bit of help from the number 7 Russ Kilgore there going around. They were able to keep it under control and get back rolling, but just not quite in time as they were blocking up the track just a little bit.
It's hard to see if he chopped down or he just didn't know the 2 or the 7, whichever you want to call it.
Well, somebody was rolling dice in Waco on a Saturday night, it seems like. And I've done that before when I play Yahtzee and stuff.
It looked like the 7 just wasn't able to check up in time for the corner by the looks of it, and unfortunate for the 19 of Alex Forget-Berube. He kind of ended up getting the worst end of the stick on that one.
Tell you what, appreciate all you guys on social media, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. Thanks so much for chiming in and pulling for your people. And I'm telling you what, man, this league really does have a great following, a great fan base for its drivers. We enjoy this every Wednesday night. It's a blast. So appreciate all you guys showing up week after week, and all the input we get, all the the cool comments about prediction on strategy. Russ is one of those guys that he puts a lot of stuff on there about take 2 here, or just a splash of fuel there. And it looks like the 07 is down on the apron, stopped. Not sure what's going on there. He may be towing. Sorry, I'm trying to look something up at the same time here. And Dion Jones on the radio saying he's getting kind of confused about what iRacing's telling him to do. It's telling him to pass cars and then to let cars around. And iRacing does a good job about trying to get everything right, but sometimes their direction about lining drivers up under caution, it's a little bit sketchy sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, that it does, and everyone gets all back around, and it gets a little bit more prevalent at these short tracks with you'll have lap cars in front of you, cars a lap ahead of you, behind you. It can get a little hectic here, but at the end of the day, it does try to sort everything out the best it can, and as we all are stacked back up here, getting ready to go back to that green flag racing. We got Timothy Pope up at the front with Mike Adamson on that outside. Eric Klafka right there as well as the outside, getting a great jump here. But we've seen that bottom line kind of on these restarts get a little bit of a better run as Timothy Pope looked to go up to the outside line, but that let Mike Adamson complete a crossover move. So Mike Adamson up into the lead as Eric Klafka is running into some issues back here with the 6 as the caution's out.
Trouble on the track again. These drivers, once again, not able to get into a rhythm.
Yeah, that's a computer deal. It's kind of like the Whopper. I don't know if y'all know about that computer. That was a big one.
You talking about the oh my God, what was that movie?
War Games,
War
1984,
Games. Thank you,
probably.
Matthew Broderick. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, as it was the 20 of Zach Wheeler having a little bit of an issue there. Let's go back and kind of take a look. As a little bit of netcode, but some help from the 753, and the 7 just kind of finished him off there as Ricky Wittenberg came flying in, and to avoid the wreck ended up tagging that outside wall, and I think that messed his steering up a little bit as all hell kind of broke loose behind him.
Ricky keeps breaking them A-arms, man.
He's doing what?
He's breaking all them ball joints and A-arms and all them important pieces, that your wheel's attached to.
Oh, man, I got confused. Yes, he's breaking everything, it looks like, unfortunately for him.
Join us next Wednesday as we're going to go to Auto Club Speedway in California for 100 laps out there. That's going to be a fun one. Sorry, buddy. Stepped on you a little there.
No, I had nothing to say. I was just talking about the Whopper and the computers and, would you like to play a game? That's the Whopper.
The Air Force general they cast for that,
Yeah, it's
it was
great.
a spit in the image of Curtis LeMay. If you don't know your Air Force history, of Strategic Air Command commander.
Yeah, I think he might have modeled that character after him.
Absolutely, 100%.
But, yeah, thank you to our veterans out there, Air Force included. I know you're a proud Air Force guy. But that was a great movie. If, you young guys want to watch something about the Cold War, you go ahead and watch that. War Games.
We mentioned a little bit about the 27th of October, which was last week. I think that was the day it was on. It was First Responders Day. And M.TV did put out a little message out there honoring our guys. We do have some military vets, maybe a couple of active duty guys still that race, some first responders that race in this league. So thanks to all those guys.
Yeah, and
Definitely,
gals.
especially
Everybody.
absolutely. I know Angelica's on duty tonight, so
Yeah, I've worked the old midnight shift. No thank you.
yeah.
It's no fun. It's hard work, but somebody's got to do it. Get you a cup of coffee and get to work. Be careful.
I know Albert Anderson worked for the sheriff's office for a long time.
As we start to get all stacked up and back ready to go green flag racing here, Mike Adamson's going to be starting on that inside row, looking for his breakthrough race. He's raced fairly well the last couple weeks, and looking to just even more improve upon that and try to get the win here today, as we're going to have 16 laps to go once we cross that flag, or cross that line with this green flag. And here we go, down and across the line. Great restart from both lines, getting through turns 1 and 2. Looks like Timothy Pope on that outside is able to hang on and keep up with that run that the inside line was having. Still side by side they go, side by side for an entire lap here. Mike Adamson still just hanging on to that lead for just a second, but man, Timothy Pope is not going away. Someone's sitting kind of patiently in that background is Josh Bittner, looking to pick up another great result here. Oh, as Timothy...
Something did happen. That's what he was waiting for.
And Timothy Pope sliding it out up into that wall a little bit. So now they're side by side here for second place. Same thing with fourth place here. You got Eric Klafka and Trevor Robertson side by side.
Look at the 51 just drive away after that.
Still, Timothy Pope not letting that little bit of a wall tag hamper his spirits whatsoever. He's still able to fight back around. Josh Bittner just shows the power that outside line does have if you can really get that run going. And here we go. Timothy Pope climbing his way back up to Mike Adamson there. Mike was not able to get away just as much as he probably would have liked to, knowing that those two were battling behind him. But still...
10 to go, Brown, as soon as they cross the line, I believe.
That we are. So this race is quickly coming to a close. Other person, keep your eye on, it's that 19 of Alex Forget-Berube. He's been coming up through this pack slowly but surely. He was kind of up front after, and then moved back after kind of like a poor pit stop there. So he's now right behind Trevor Robertson and Jonathan Osborne, kind of trying to sneak around them to make up some ground as the 6 of Trevor Robertson kind of stuck there on that bottom line.
Yeah, it looks like Jonathan Osborne's kind of stuck there too with him.
As Alex trying to find a way to get around everybody here, but runs into the back bumper. As he gets up into... and he gets loose as well, and that's going to bring out the car. No. All right, everyone's able to keep on rolling around, but Alex Forget-Berube with a very aggressive move there. Just not able to make anything happen. Got kind of stuck behind the 6 of Trevor Robertson, but we're going to stay green flag racing here as Mike Adamson still leads this thing away from Timothy Pope, still keeping that gap around 0.2 of a second. But that is definitely being cut down as Timothy Pope gets right back up to that back bumper as Josh Bittner still once again kind of bird-eyeing this situation, ready to pounce if any shenanigans do happen up here in front of him, as we now have 5 laps to go. Eric Klafka and Jonathan Osborne still having that heck of a battle going on behind them. This is a battle for 4th and 5th, with Trevor Robertson sneaking his way up in there as well. He's trying to get around Eric Klafka now, moving his way up into 5th and trying to improve upon his position, as Tyler Green has a little bit of an issue. Same thing with George Rincon. Tyler,
yellow's out!
And that's going to bring out the yellow flag.
Well, we're going to have one hell of an ending, I can assure you.
You ain't kidding.
Those guys at the front probably didn't want that caution flag. I wouldn't imagine.
As Tyler Green just got into the 28, who went for a little bit of a wild ride, and man, I think that was the 14 of John Herzig, just nowhere to go, trying to get around the 28, excuse me, not the 29, but the 28.
Albert Anderson, if you can hear us out there, we see that you didn't have too good of a night tonight. Tough luck. Is your dad Albert Anderson the second or Albert Anderson Jr.?
I don't know. While we wait on that, we have one green-white checker. That's it. That's so that we are about to see the end here.
That we are, so we'll let everybody all loop around and get back ready to go back to green flag racing, which will be a green-white checker flag racing here as Mike Adamson leads Timothy Pope here, but those two will be starting side by side as Josh Bittner and Jonathan Osborne will be side by side. Same thing with Trevor Robertson and Eric Klafka. Man, oh man, talk about a stacked up top 6, but I mean, anything can happen in a green-white checker. And Mike Evers here in 7th, Jeremiah Burke in 8th, Josh Oxendine in 9th, Zach Wheeler in 10th, Brian Jablonski having a great night in 11th, Dion Jones 12th, Zachary Self 13th. I don't know if they have a chance for a win, but man, they're in for a chance at a pretty decent spot, as those are the only guys on the lead lap. Alex Forget-Berube is the first car not on the lead lap, and he's a couple laps behind all these guys.
Yeah, well, being a lap or 2 down here, it's not hard to do, so it's really not a big deal. Their laps are so quick here. If you're on the lead lap, that's quite a feat. So I don't know, man. It's fun to watch. I hope you guys out there are watching. English, you got anything else on all these fans? Because we're going to pick a super fan here at some point.
And that's the reason why I was asking about Albert Anderson's spot, because Albert Anderson Jr. Albert Anderson III's pop, is our fan of the race. So thanks, Albert, for sticking around with us. And stay tuned as we're going to pick a random draw driver winner for a $5 prize here. Albert Anderson Jr., you will be entered into a drawing that will take place at the end of this season for a $50 gift card. So thanks so much.
As pace truck comes down, getting ready for this green-white checker finish here. Off and running we go, down and across the line one final time. We got Timothy Pope, Mike Adamson still side by side. Timothy Pope getting that run on the outside. Don't know how much his damage is going to hamper him here as we now take the white flag. So this race is going to end, even though we have an issue behind these lead guys. We're going to have a little bit of a parking lot on that front stretch, but we still have a 6-7 car fight going on up here at the front. Coming down to the line, Timothy Pope gets a little bit of loose. That's going to give Mike Adamson the win, with Josh Bittner coming in second and Trevor Robertson able to snag a third.
What a crazy finish.
Are we in Dega? What just happened?
That was a big one, all right. Pope smashed the wall there.
There was two big ones.
Man, let's go take another look here at this final corner as Timothy Pope, a little bit of netcode helped him out to that outside wall, and man, we had cars wrecking everywhere, and Josh Oxendine going for a ride, Jonathan Osborne going for a ride. Holy smokes, talk about a finish.
Man, I don't even know if that was netcode. It looked like Pope was just pushing it as far as he could. Well, I don't know, but there was no contact, visible contact. Wow, man. And there was a crash before that took out everybody else. So, hey, if you're going to end it, might as well end it on fireworks.
Great photo op here. So we got our top three lining up on the start-finish line. As soon as we figure out who our random draw winner is,
which we will do now while these guys are taking their photo op. As always, I will click generate 3 times. Let's just make sure we get the proper number of drivers in here. I think it's going to end up being 28. So we will click generate 3 times, and that will be the finishing position for the lucky driver of the day. So here we go, and 1, 2, 3. It's going to be the person who finished 8th here today, and that's going to be the 63 of Josh Oxendine.
Yeah, hey, lucky on him. I saw him in a couple incidents, but hey, he still won $5 out of this thing.
Yeah, so Josh Oxendine,
awesome deal.
Go ahead, jump up on in there for your post-race interview, and we'll get these things all started here with our 3rd place finisher. That's going to be Mr. Trevor Robertson. Get him in here. Trevor, congratulations. You survived the mayhem of a crazy race, but last lap is we kind of expected based on how that race was going. It was going to come down to that. But man, talk about kind of going for a wild ride there. I mean, you saw you up there and then down there and then up there again.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was crazy. Man, it's just, if you can't get into the top line, you just got freight trained, and I was trying my hardest to run it as fast as I could there on the bottom, and I got lucky that I saw 2 cars get together there right at the finish line. I don't know who it was, but I'm not going to complain. It was fun.
How hard was it to actually get into a rhythm? Because we talked a little bit about that during the broadcast, that it's hard to find your rhythm if you have cautions that are so close together. Did you kind of experience some of that tonight? Kind of hard to find your rhythm?
It's not only that, it was just everybody's in the top line, and say if person second in line checked up, then everybody else behind them had to check up, and you just couldn't run a full lap under rhythm hardly, unless you let them get a little bit of a gap in front of you. But even if you got a run, you really couldn't pass on the bottom. It just wasn't going to happen.
Well, it worked out for you, and you were in the right place at the right time right there at the end. Man, it looked like Talladega out there at the end of that race. But you sorted your way through it, so congrats on the podium. And what are your thoughts going into next week, Auto Club? And do you have any shout-outs or anything like that you want to talk about?
I'd like to give a shout out to my teammates. So Oxendine, Dixon, Wheeler, and Green. But I don't know about Auto Club's fun. It's going to be that would be definitely be a clean race. I know the recruitment race that we had there. I don't. It's been a while now, but it was a really good race. That was a caution-free race. So I think it's going to be very interesting next week.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations finishing here with a solid podium third place finish. And we look forward to seeing what you guys can do next week.
All right. Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Now we'll move up the leaderboard to Mr. Josh Bittner, one of the co-hosts on that Vigilante Report podcast. And man, after listening to that podcast, you guys didn't hype it up enough. This one ended up being even more exciting. Congratulations, finishing here P2, which is a very solid finish. Saw you kind of battling around that top 5, top 10 just about all night, and man, it certainly was a battle.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, we definitely didn't give it enough hype on the podcast. I mean, we knew it was going to be a wreck fest coming in, but I don't think we put enough emphasis on it. Probably because we ran Talladega a couple weeks ago, so we were pretty tired of that, and we didn't want to see some more wrecks. But it's it's inevitable, right? So I just kept the strategy of, well, one, I mean, it's not really possible to control, but if you're not on the outside lane for the restarts, try to work your way up to the outside. And I was working on saving my tires. I was talking to my teammates at Vigilante, Ricky, Simon Seregis, Eric Klafka. We were just trying to run a strat. Like I told them, hey, I'm lifting a little bit earlier going into the corners, trying to save my tires up. And I felt like the few long runs we did, we definitely were able to save some speed and be able to be up front racing with Tim, because I feel like half the time I'm racing with them, I got no business being up front with them. But there was really good racing throughout the night. But it's the funniest thing. I didn't get a single incident point till that last corner when I bounced off of Tim, and I got a 4X. Other than that, I had a clean truck the whole time.
Yeah, we talked a little bit during the race about. I always heard, growing up, hearing it from the broadcasters on the big networks talking about Bristol, especially with cup cars, but it applies to trucks as well. It's like flying fighter jets in a gymnasium. Okay, so there's almost 30 trucks out there. There's not a whole heck of a lot of real estate that you're sharing with these guys. We did see on some of the cautions that there'd be an incident, and Tyler Green was one of the guys that was really good about calling it out, saying, hey, 3 and 4, check up 3 and 4, there's a wreck, there's a wreck, there's a wreck. We did see a lot of cars or trucks that were kind of sending it into some of these wrecks. It's hard to manage that. But how do you guys, how do you mitigate something like that? It's got to be difficult.
Well, we definitely had a great strategy going because, I mean, of course, we want everybody to run up front as much as possible. But, and there's a guy further back in the pack, you'll see a little bit more. So we kind of have like a little stranger danger approach going, right? If you see something, say something. And we definitely were piping up in the Discord chat whenever there was a wreck going on. And there was one wreck early on in the race. I think it was maybe the second or third one. Somebody called it out, and I was in 4th place, I think, at the time, maybe 5th. And I went straight to the bottom racing groove on one of the straightaways, and I just started braking. I gave up a spot, but that person that went by me, I forget who it was, maybe Jeremiah, friend of the show, who was actually on the last Vigilante Report podcast. But he went by me, and then he kind of, they went into the dog pile, and there were a couple guys up that were running up front got dinged up because they bounced off of some lap traffic guys or guys that were running in the back. And it's a really good analogy there. It's like fighter jets, and they're also playing dodgeball at the same time too in that gymnasium, because I was dodging everything all over the place. There's some Matrix level crap going on, but I definitely, it's just that type of racing. Not everybody's used to it. I know I'm not, but it definitely was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's going to happen here. Why wouldn't it? It's Bristol. I didn't see any issues with really what happened out on the track. I thought it was really good racing. You know, you watch any kind of Bristol race, you're going to see some incidents happen. So I thought we had a great race. And what are your thoughts going into next week at Auto Club?
Well, I feel like I can race on a recliner next week at Auto Club compared to this week because, dang, we did a 100-lap race there earlier. It's like a for fun race. I mean, it was for money, of course, but it was before the season started as a recruitment race. And we went 100 laps, green flag all the way. There's a couple spins given, but nothing substantial. And at Auto Club, there's so much space on that racetrack, but like most tracks on iRacing, it's so dependent on your tire wear and just being able to save that tire. Maybe ripping the outside lane. It really will be a change of pace, which I think for a lot of the drivers in tonight's race, I know there were some guys that weren't having the best time out there. You're definitely going to see some other guys try to redeem themselves, and hopefully we put on a really good show because all night tonight I felt like, maybe you guys can attest to this, that there was a lot of movement around the front of the pack and even midfield. I think there was some great racing going on. I know Mike put a whale of a job. He kind of got screwed over because an iRacing glitch put him back from like 4th or 5th place to 20th during the first caution. So he had to drive all the way back through the field. That was some absolutely fantastic driving, so props to Mike. But yeah, I'm really stoked for next week at Auto Club. Hopefully my heart rate goes down a little bit next week. It's not as crazy.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations here on a second place finish tonight. You got any shout-outs you got to go?
Yeah, if my girlfriend Peyton McGowan's awake, thanks for watching. Of course, all my friends at Vigilante Racing, and of course, my dog Harley, as always, on the back deck lid of the truck. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. We look forward to seeing what you guys can do next week. And once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, and so before going to our race winner here today, we'll jump on to our random draw driver of the day. That's going to be Mr. Josh Oxendine, bringing home a solid 8th place finish, especially pretty good result there for you. Kind of looked like you were mired there in the middle for quite a bit and got a little bit involved in some of those cautions that came out, but man, oh man, that was a slugfest to say the least.
Lord, boy, if y'all only knew. And I got good news and update you on something. Unfortunately, the 753 was disqualified right there at the line, so I actually ended up 7th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's great. But let me get 2 things off real quick, and then we'll get talking about this race. I want to say happy birthday to my daddy. He turned 80 yesterday, so I'm happy for him. Shout out to Puffy, Jacob Schaffer. He wasn't able to make night's race, but he's watching at home. Now, go back to that race. Where do y'all want to start? Because the last 30 laps to go, I was at a 20X. If I coughed wrong, I would have been DQ'd. Man.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit before the race. There's debates on the X amount here. But, hey, y'all put on a really good show. You were kind of stuck in the back. You did a lot of beating and banging. So
Well,
you didn't
it
get
wasn't
to...
intentional.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. There was no. It happens at a short track like this. But here's the deal: you came out of this with a little bit of money, and you're going to survive for next week, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to be there wide open, man. Welcome at arms wide open. But I'm going to have to get into weightlifting again or something. My arm's a little tired, that left and right deal. I'm going to have to get on the bicycle with some weights, Lord have mercy. But that very first caution, what we thought would have been a caution right there, I think about lap 4 or 5, where Jack Dixon got spun. I think maybe it might have been Russ Kilgore. I could be wrong. It's been a blur. I was got in the back of Ricky entering. I think it might have been 1, and right then and there I hit Ricky head on, and that put him multiple laps down, and he never did get to recover. Unfortunately, he finished 9 laps down looking at it, and I started falling back. I fell back to 20th there because the truck started overheating. So, it was flashing there at me, telling me, I'm about to let go. And I was like, come on, baby, just something to happen. Just hold on with me, hold on. And it held on. Luckily, we got a caution, come down, got that fast repair. Got that knocked out. I thought we had been safe. And then to put quite frankly, all hell broke loose. And I dodged what I could. And then Ricky got beat up again under caution. I just come off pit road, and he had woed up, and somebody run in the back of him. And that dented up the rear end of the truck. And I'm glad we got good guys at the shop, though, because I'm telling you, the body man, he going to get some overtime this week.
Well, looking to the future, this race, this will be your 4th top 10 so far this season, and you've never finished out of the top 15. Your lowest finish has been 13th, and you've done that twice. How do you feel about next week, about Auto Club out there in California? Is it a track that you feel good about? Because, I mean, you're fairly consistent in your finishes, and there's still a half a season to go, so nobody's counting you out, Ox, but how do you feel about next week at California?
Well, for the most part, man, I'm a points racer, as you can tell. But at the first few races of the season, you know how it is. Sometimes you just have a rough one. And I wasn't running at my full potential. And I got in a good rhythm now. We're starting to come back around. You know, I'm looking forward to California. I got a shot at winning. Well, I guess I just had to tune in next week and find out one.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations, having a solid run here, finishing with another top 10, finishing 7th here at the end of this one. And before we let you go, you got any shout-outs to your Oxen army that you got all out there?
Well, I knew Ryan sitting at the house. And little inside joke. Ryan, get them knives sharp for the weekend. Holler to him. Cornbread, if he's around, he might be in the bed. So, but I had to get him on here one of these days to talk with y'all. I know y'all want to talk to old Cornbread.
We love that.
And Rick, if he's at the house. Justin was in the race tonight, so y'all didn't get to hear from him.
No, it was
Hutchinson in the 21.
Yeah, it was good to see him. One of the longtime kind of supporters of the broadcast in the league, finally able to get some time to join up and race here. He had a decent night for an opening night. Just ran into some problems there, kind of later on in the race, and still not too bad of a night for him. But yeah, man, once again, congratulations on the 7th place finish, and we look forward to seeing what you guys got next week.
I look forward to watching the broadcast. I appreciate what y'all do, man. I truly do.
You bet.
And now, moving up to that top of the leaderboard, we move to the 51 of Mike Adamson, getting his breakthrough win here today at Bristol. Man, Mike, that was a tough battle there, especially at the end there with Pope. I kind of saw you were sitting up front for a good chunk of this race, having a battle with Jonathan Osborne there for a bit as well. But man, oh man, just being able to be in the right spot at the right time, coming down to the end, man, that was I think that was one of the big keys to your win here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's nerve-wracking, to say the least. Yeah, just tried to stay calm, stay cool. You know, had a little incident in the beginning, setback, but drove back up through the field and just tried to be as patient as I could.
Yeah, you got a couple of top 10s, and you know, you did miss a couple of races earlier in the season, but that's not what it's all about. You know, when you do show up to race, you show up to race, and you finish well, and we're glad to see you finally get that awesome win, bringing that 51 truck to victory lane. What are you looking forward to next week as y'all go to Auto Club out there in California?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I love running in California. It's a big, wide open track. It's got a lot of multi-groove runs, so it definitely should make for an interesting race.
Yeah, you had a couple issues early, I think, if I was listening to the radio right, but you overcame all that. I know you were probably frustrated kind of mid-race, but you worked your way back to the front, so that was pretty damn amazing what you did there. You kind of went up front, fell back because of some issues, and you worked your way all the way to the front. So, man, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have to send a big shout out to my boys at Limitless Esports, Albert and Jeremiah. They talked me down, kept me cool, had me stay calm and just be patient, and it'll all unfold.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations on the big time win here today. Got any more shout outs you got to get out of the way before I let you go?
Just want to thank John over at Over the Top Designs. Does wonderful paint work. I mean, I do some of my own, but he does majority of it. And thank all the boys at Limitless Esports. Shout out to the boys I work with down at Action Gator in Lake Mary. They listen to me talk about it all day long when I go into work the next day. So they're definitely going to hear about this one tomorrow.
That's down in Florida, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Around Orlando area somewhere?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, good deal. Congrats on the win, Mike. We sure enjoyed watching you run tonight.
Absolutely. Appreciate the broadcast and appreciate everything over at Vigilante. Jess and Kelly putting all this on. You guys do awesome work.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Well, again, congratulations on the big time win. And heck yeah, man, tomorrow go ahead and brag about this whole thing.
Absolutely. You guys have a good evening. Thanks again.
You bet.
Whoo, dog eat dog, boys. That was a race and a half.
That was something else. It didn't disappoint. We knew that there was going to be some cautions and some stuff happening out there on the track. That's inevitable. I mean, it's a half mile. You put 30 cars or 30 trucks on it. Stuff's going to happen. Eventually, it looks like most of the guys discovered what we talked about. Was that outside line was going to come in, and we saw a lot of guys out there running it. I hope in the future that iRacing, introduces something to where the leader can pick his own line, because I think we did see a little bit of, guys got stuck on the inside line and they didn't want to restart there. A lot of guys wanted to run that outside line, so maybe that's something we'll see in the future. But man, it was a great race tonight and did not disappoint.
No, it did not. And just kind of knowing how this race went a little bit here and how the kind of finishing order might be a little construed on my screen, what we'll do is we'll actually just go through it via the official iRacing thing. That way there's no uncontinuities going on with the graphic that pops up. And but either way, I know one thing that's not going to change. That's going to be Mike Adamson taking home the win here tonight with just a little over an hour of race time. So these guys were out there beating and banging for quite a long time. Josh Bittner coming home with a big time win in that 84, or a big time second, not a win, excuse me, in that 84 truck, surviving that mess. Same thing with the 6 of Trevor Robertson. He was able to bring home a top 3 podium finish there. Timothy Pope just snagging that outside wall, and man, oh man, heartbreak for Timothy Pope here, but he had a heck of a run here tonight. Jonathan Osborne as well. He was up there fighting for every single position, every single lap, and he had a great run there. He's going to finish here 5th. Eric Klafka finished here 6th with a pretty solid run. He was up and down kind of throughout this entire race, so he was able to battle and have a solid day tonight. You got Josh Oxendine there finishing 7th with Zachary Self in 8th. Brian Jablonski, had a pretty good finish as well in 9th, with Zach Wheeler in that 20. We saw him have a few issues kind of later on in that run, and he was still able to snag a top 10 finish there, so great job from Zach.
Yeah, the 4 of Dion Jones made a lot of tracks tonight and moved way up. Good job, Dion, on finishing 11th tonight in that 4 truck. The 753 Jeremiah Burke, unfortunately, the first truck one lap down in 12th. He had a really strong machine tonight, and appreciate all the fan support he's got, including his pop. And the 82 of Michael Everidge finished 13th. The 999 truck of Jeff Snyder in 14th place, 5 laps down. Also 5 laps down, George Rincon in the 28. Alex Forget Berube, rough night for him, is finishing 7 laps down in 16th place. But he's had strong finishes most of the season, so he's not really hurting in the points right now in that 19. Tyler Green in the 5, finished 17th. Ricky Wittenberg in the 55, finishing 18th, 9 laps down. Jeffrey Green in the 15. We saw him have some difficulties and stuff, but just one of those guys that he really did try to stay out of the way as much as he could when he was having problems. So we appreciate the gamesmanship of guys, the sportsmanship of guys like Jeff in that 15 as he finishes 19th. And rounding out your top 20, the 7 of Russ Kilgore finishing 18 laps down in that 20th place.
Yeah, we got the 14th John Herzik, 21st. 91 of Rob Green, 22nd. 01 of Kelly Cool, 23rd. 29 Dave Hot Rod Maidberry, 24th. 07 in the Laughing Clown car, Jack Dixon, 25th. 020 Simon Cobras Regis, 26th. 21 newcomer Justin Hutchinson. He learned his lessons out there tonight. Hopefully help him out next week, 27th. 12 America's driver Albert Anderson, 28th. And number 37 Dustin Reilly, 29th place.
And that will conclude tonight's festivities here in Tennessee at the Bristol Motor Speedway. We thank you all for tuning in and sticking with us, especially for this kind of extended little bit of a finish. Had quite a few interviews to get through, and man, it's always good to interview these guys in this league. And before we sign off, we always like to thank D&D Race Graphics. Same thing with the Keller Williams of Johnson City, Eastern Tennessee. You got great folks there with Ricky Wittenberg with the funds-wise helping these guys out and making sure that this league is up and running to as much tip-top shape as it can be, and helps out with all the payouts and all that stuff, which is kind of what makes this league what it is. And without them, this stuff really wouldn't happen. So always got to give a shout out to them and big ol' support them. You can also check out Ricky and Josh every week on the Vigilante Report podcast. Typically get released on a Tuesday night, so be sure to stay tuned and check that out over on SoundCloud. That's the Vigilante Racing Report. And yeah, man, until next week where we hit sunny California, that's going to do it here tonight from Tennessee. We look forward to seeing you all next week. And until then, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We're signing off.
And thanks to all you fans on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch that watch us and comment and interact with us. We really appreciate it. And on that note, we gone.
See ya.